Close your eyes. Let the darkness behind your eyelids become your universe. What if that gentle, quiet darkness was not empty? What if, drifting through the unimaginable void between the stars, there are entire worlds shrouded in a night that has no end? Tonight, we are not looking up at the stars. We are journeying into the blackness between them. We are seeking the ghost worlds, the rogue planets, cast away from their suns to wander the galaxy alone. And we will ask a question that feels like science fiction, but is rooted in scientific possibility. Could these lonely wanderers, these orphan worlds, be cradles for life? Could entire civilizations exist and thrive in the heart of an eternal, starless night? Prepare to drift away, not just into sleep, but into the deepest, most mysterious corners of our cosmos. Before our journey begins, let us understand the nature of these cosmic nomads. A rogue planet or an orphan planet is a world that does not orbit a star. It moves through the galaxy as a solitary object, bound only by the gentle, overarching gravity of the galaxy itself. Imagine a bustling planetary system billions of years ago, a gravitational dance of giant planets, a close pass by a wandering star, or the violent death of its parent sun could act as a cosmic slingshot, flinging a young world out of its comfortable orbit and into the cold, empty expanse of interstellar space. For millennia, we imagined space as either the warm light of a solar system or the absolute zero of the void. But these worlds exist in a third state, a place of profound cold and darkness, but not of nothingness. They are complete worlds with cores, mantles, and perhaps even atmospheres and oceans, but they receive no light, no warmth from a nearby star. They are islands of matter in an ocean of vacuum, carrying the memory of their violent birth as they embark on an endless, silent journey through the dark. Our journey begins now. Let go of the room around you. Feel the gentle pull of your own gravity, rooting you to your bed. Now let that feeling expand. Imagine we are lifting off, not in a loud, fiery rocket, but in a silent vessel of consciousness. We rise above the sleeping cities, above the thin, blue whisper of our atmosphere, the familiar constellations, the friendly moon, the distant glow of our sun. They all begin to shrink. We are leaving the harbor of our solar system. The sun becomes just the brightest star in a sea of countless others. Then it too fades, joining the tapestry of the Milky Way. There is a profound silence out here, a silence that is not empty, but full. It is full of distance, of time, of potential. This is the interstellar medium, the space between the stars. It is not a perfect vacuum. It is a tenuous soup of hydrogen atoms, cosmic dust, and the faint, ancient light from galaxies billions of light years away. Feel this immense, quiet space around you. It is not threatening. It is peaceful. It is the canvas upon which the universe is painted. We are drifting now, patiently, through this serene darkness, our senses attuned not to light, but to the subtle currents of gravity, the whispers of the cosmos. We are searching for a shadow, a ghost, a world that makes no light of its own, a planet defined only by the light it blocks. In this deep calm, we let our minds expand to comprehend the scale of our journey, a journey measured in light years, a distance so vast that it soothes the mind with its sheer, unbelievable magnitude. Let the worries of the day shrink just as our sun did, becoming an insignificant point of light. in the grand, silent, peaceful dark. As we drift through this deep interstellar ocean, let's consider what it means to be truly alone. A rogue planet has no companion moon to dance with, no sister planets to align with in the sky, and no parent star to orbit. Its path is a long, straight, or gently curving line through the galaxy, a journey of solitude that can last for eons. Yet, is it truly lonely, or is it simply free? Free from the violent solar flares of a star, free from the chaotic bombardment of asteroids common in a young solar system, free from the eventual death of its sun, which would one day either swell to consume it or shrink into a cold ember. This wandering world is its own master, a self-contained universe on an endless pilgrimage. Its solitude is a form of protection. The crushing cold of interstellar space, just a few degrees above absolute zero, forms a perfect insulation. Any internal heat the planet possesses is trapped beneath a thick, impenetrable crust of ice and rock. This cold is not a sign of death, but a shield, preserving the planet's precious inner warmth. Imagine the surface of such a world. If you were to stand upon it, there would be no sky, no stars as we know them. The Milky Way would be a faint, shimmering ribbon of dust and light, a celestial river painted across a canvas of absolute black. There would be no day, no night, only the unyielding, unchanging darkness. It is a state of being that is difficult for us, no creatures of the sun, to comprehend. But in that constancy, there is a deep peace. There is no sunrise to chase, no sunset to mourn. There's only the eternal quiet now. And it is in this eternal now, protected by the cold and the dark, that the most incredible secret might be hiding deep beneath the surface. How would we even find such a world? A tiny, dark object in the vast, dark expanse of the galaxy. We cannot look for its light, for it has none to give. Instead, we must look for its shadow, for its gravitational presence. This is the subtle art of gravitational microlensing. Imagine looking at a distant star, a simple point of light. As the rogue planet in its journey passes directly between us and that star, its gravity acts like a lens. The planet's mass bends the fabric of space-time around it, and as the starlight passes through this warped space, it is magnified, focused. For a brief period, a few hours or a few days, the distant star will appear to brighten and then fade away in a perfectly symmetrical curve. This fleeting flicker of light, this gravitational wink from across the cosmos, is the only sign that an unseen, massive object has passed by. It is a beautiful, indirect method of seeing the invisible. It tells us that something is there, a world of significant mass, adrift in the void. It's like detecting a ship in a dark ocean, not by its lights, but by the perfect, momentary ripple it creates on the surface of the water. Each time astronomers detect such an event, it is a confirmation that our galaxy is filled with these wanderers. There may be billions, even trillions of them, outnumbering the stars themselves. Each one is a potential destination, a potential mystery. And as we continue our own mental journey, we are now approaching one such anomaly, a place where the light of a distant star once bent, betraying the presence of a hidden, lonely world. We are arriving Our senses, now attuned to the gravitational whispers of the void, feel a gentle pull, a subtle density in the fabric of space. We are entering the sphere of influence of a rogue planet. Out of the uniform blackness, a deeper blackness emerges, a perfect circle of nothing, blotting out the faint, distant ribbon of the Milky Way behind it. This is the planet's silhouette, its night side, which is its only side. As we draw closer, the scale is immense. This is a world perhaps the size of Earth, or even larger, a super-Earth with a powerful gravitational field. It is a silent, sleeping giant. There are no city lights, no atmospheric glow, no reflected starlight. Its surface is a study in absolute darkness, a perfect void. If it has an atmosphere, it is thick and frozen, a layer of nitrogen and methane, ice crystals clinging to the surface like a permanent, glittering frost. The temperature here is unimaginably cold, so cold that the very air has frozen solid. It is a world in the deepest of deep freezes. Yet this frozen surface is a shell, a protective barrier. Like the thick ice on a frozen lake, it protects what lies beneath from the harshness of the outside world. This is not a dead world. It is a dormant one, a world of secrets, locked away beneath miles of ice and rock. Let your mind drift over this silent, frozen landscape. Imagine vast plains of frozen nitrogen, mountains of water ice, harder than granite, canyons carved long ago by liquid methane that is now frozen solid. It is a statue of a world perfectly preserved by the cold. But we are not here for the surface. Our journey takes us deeper. We will phase through this frozen shell, sinking down into the heart of the mystery, into the realm of eternal darkness and surprising, hidden warmth. We pass through the frozen crust, a journey of miles in a moment of thought. The crushing pressure increases, but for us it is a comforting blanket, a feeling of descending into a safe, protected place. And as we go deeper, the cold begins to recede. A faint, almost imperceptible warmth begins to permeate our senses. This is not the warmth of a sun. This is the planet's own primordial heat, the energy left over from its violent formation billions of years ago, and the ongoing heat generated by the slow decay of radioactive elements in its core. This is the secret of the rogue planet. It is not a cold, dead rock. It is a thermos, a cosmic hot water bottle with a hot active core insulated by its thick mantle and frozen crust. This internal engine, this planetary furnace, has been burning steadily for eons, a constant, reliable source of energy that does not depend on a star. It is the lifeblood of the planet. This internal heat can drive geological activity. Imagine, deep beneath the ice, vast, slow-moving tectonic plates. Imagine volcanoes that erupt not with fire and ash into an atmosphere, but with molten rock and superheated water into a liquid ocean. This is the key. The immense pressure from the miles of ice above, combined with the heat from the core below, could create the perfect conditions for a vast, global, subterranean ocean of liquid water, a world of water hidden from the universe, locked away in the heart of a wandering planet. This is the place we have been seeking, an environment shielded from cosmic radiation, protected from the vacuum of space, and kept warm by the planet's own heart. It is the most promising, the most perfect cradle for life in this starless realm. Now we have arrived in this hidden ocean. Let us float here in the warm, dark water. The blackness is absolute, a quality of darkness we can never experience on Earth. There is no up, no down, only the gentle pressure of the water all around us. The silence is profound, broken only by the distant, low rumble of the planet's geologic activity, a deep bass hum that is the planet's heartbeat. This is a world of pressure and warmth, of water and minerals, and it is here that the miracle of life could begin, in a way that is both alien and deeply familiar to us. On the floor of this vast, hidden ocean, we find them: hydrothermal vents, chimneys of rock, venting black, superheated water from the planet's mantle. This water is not just hot, it is a rich chemical soup filled with dissolved minerals, sulfur compounds, and everything needed to form the building blocks of life. On Earth, in the deepest, darkest parts of our own oceans, similar vents support entire ecosystems, teeming with life that has never seen the sun. They rely not on photosynthesis, the conversion of light into energy, but on chemosynthesis, the conversion of chemical energy into life. And here, in this rogue planet's ocean, the same process could be at work. These vents are oases in the dark, the one place where the planet's inner energy bursts forth, providing a constant stream of warmth and food. Here, in the eternal night of this subglacial sea, life could take root. It would be a slow, patient evolution taking place over billions of years as the planet silently travels through the galaxy. A completely independent genesis, a second tree of life, born and raised in the dark. Let us imagine the ecosystem that could arise around these hydrothermal vents. The foundation would be microbes, tiny single-celled organisms that feast on the chemical energy pouring from the vents. They would form thick, colorful mats on the surrounding rocks, the first layer of a complex food web. Grazing on these microbial mats would be larger, more complex creatures, perhaps slug-like beings or strange armored crustaceans, adapted to the immense pressure. They would move slowly, conserving energy in this world where it is a precious commodity. And hunting these grazers, we might find larger predators, perhaps eel-like creatures with sensitive barbels to feel for vibrations in the water, or ambush predators that lie in wait near the vents, camouflaged against the rock. In the absence of light, eyes as we know them would be useless. Instead, life here would navigate using other senses, the sense of pressure, to know up from down, the sense of chemical gradients, to find the life-giving vents, the sense of electrical fields, to detect prey. Or perhaps life here would create its own light. Imagine the phenomenon of bioluminescence evolving not just for mating or defense, but as the primary means of seeing the world. The dark ocean could be filled with gentle, moving constellations of living light, schools of glowing fish-like creatures, creating shifting patterns of blue and green, plants, or their equivalent, that glow with a soft, internal light, attracting the creatures that would spread their spores. The entire ocean could be a slow, silent, underwater light show, a secret galaxy of life hidden within a lonely planet. And what if this life, given billions of years of uninterrupted, stable evolution in this protected environment, became intelligent? What would a civilization born in a dark, subterranean ocean look like? Their world would be three-dimensional in a way we can barely comprehend, They would not live on a surface, but within a volume. Their cities would not be built outwards, but upwards, downwards, and in all directions, perhaps clinging to the vast, rocky ceilings of the ocean, or built around the life-giving hydrothermal vents. Their architecture would be one of pressure and current, designed to withstand the immense forces of the deep and to harness the flow of water and heat. Their language might not be sound, which travels differently in water, but perhaps complex patterns of light, bioluminescent flashes, and colors conveying complex ideas. Or it could be a language of controlled electrical fields, or even direct telepathic communication through the water medium. Their understanding of the universe would be completely different from ours. Their entire cosmos would be the ocean. The concept of a sky, of stars, of a sun, would be a wild, abstract philosophical idea, a myth. Their cosmology would be based on the geology of their world. The ocean floor would be their earth, the ice ceiling their heavens, and the hydrothermal events their gods, their sources of all life and warmth. Consider the science and philosophy of such a civilization. Their physics would be dominated by fluid dynamics and pressure. Their chemistry by the complex interactions of minerals and superheated water. Would they ever discover the world outside their ocean? Perhaps their scientists, in studying the ice ceiling, would detect the subtle tidal forces of the galaxy, the faint whispers of cosmic rays that penetrate the ice. They might theorize about a vast emptiness, a space that exists beyond their heavens. It would be as profound and difficult a discovery for them as the discovery of quantum mechanics was for us. Their philosophy would be one of connection and community. In a world with limited resources, centered around oases of warmth, cooperation would be essential for survival. Their art would be a medium of light and water. Imagine sculptures carved from the vent chimneys, illuminated from within by captured bioluminescent organisms. Imagine symphonies of light, great ballets of color and movement performed by thousands of individuals in the dark water. Their sense of history would be written in the rock, in the layers of sediment on the ocean floor, a history of a people who have only ever known one world. This warm, dark, watery womb, their planetary arc, carrying them silently through a cosmos they cannot see and can barely imagine. They would be the children of the deep, a civilization of the dark, a testament to the incredible tenacity of life. Let your mind drift with this idea, the idea of a consciousness that has never known light. What would their concept of beauty be? For us, so much of our art, our poetry, our very language is tied to light, color, sunrises, and the stars. For them, beauty might be found in the perfect geometric patterns of a mineral crystal. It might be the complex, resonant frequency of a geological tremor, a song sung by the planet itself. Beauty could be the subtle change in temperature that signals proximity to a life-giving vent, a feeling of warmth that is synonymous with safety, community, and life itself. Their dreams, their subconscious minds, would not be filled with visual images, but perhaps with sensations of pressure, of flowing water, of intricate patterns of sound or touch. They would have no conception of the color blue or red or yellow. But they might have 1,000 words for the different qualities of darkness, the way it feels, the way it tastes, the way it changes with depth and pressure. They might worship the planet's core, the unseen, molten heart that provides all warmth and life, their inner sun. Their creation myths would not speak of light emerging from darkness, but of warmth emerging from the cold rock, of the first chemical reactions that sparked consciousness in the eternal, unchanging night. It is a profound shift in perspective, a reminder that our way of experiencing the universe is just one of many possibilities. In this hidden ocean, an entire culture, rich and deep, could be built upon a completely different set of sensory inputs, a completely different understanding of what it means to be alive and aware. The passage of time for such a civilization would be a fluid, abstract concept. Without the cycle of day and night, without seasons, without the steady orbit around a star, how would they measure time? Perhaps their clocks would be geological. They might measure time by the slow, predictable decay of certain radioactive elements in the rocks around them. Or perhaps time would be measured in generations, in the life cycles of their own species and the organisms they depend on. The great cycles of their world might be the periodic eruptions of major volcanoes, or the slow, multi-century drift of the tectonic plates, which would shift the locations of their precious hydrothermal vents. A great year for them might be the time it takes for a new vent to open, or for an old one to die. This would make them a nomadic people, not on a surface, but through the water, their entire civilization forced to migrate every few thousand years to follow the shifting sources of energy. Their history would be a grand, slow saga of migrations, of searching for warmth in the deep. This constant, slow-paced challenge would shape their society, making them incredibly resilient, patient, and forward-thinking. They would have to be masters of geology, able to predict the planet's inner workings to ensure their survival. Their entire existence would be a slow, rhythmic dance with the planet itself, a partnership between life and geology, played out in the dark over countless millennia. Now, let us consider the planet itself as a vessel, a spaceship. This is not just a metaphor. For this civilization, their entire world is, in a very real sense, a generation ship, traveling through the vastness of interstellar space. They are the passengers, born on the ship, destined to live their entire lives on it, and die on it, as it continues its silent voyage. They may not even know they are traveling. To them, their world is stationary, and it is the faint, external universe that is moving past them. But what if they did find out? What if their astronomers, through incredible feats of science, managed to confirm that their world was not stationary, but flying through an endless void? It would be the most profound discovery in their history. It might trigger a philosophical and religious revolution. Are they on a journey with a purpose? Is there a destination? Or is the journey itself the purpose? It mirrors our own cosmic questions. We too are on a planet, flying through space. But our journey is a loop, a comfortable, predictable orbit. Theirs is a line, an arrow shot into the infinite. This realization could fill them with a sense of cosmic loneliness or a sense of incredible purpose. They are the crew of World Ship Ark, carrying the only spark of life for light years in every direction. Their responsibility would be immense, to preserve the delicate balance of their hidden ocean, to keep the flame of consciousness alive on its endless journey through the great, dark sea of the cosmos. The psychology of a being evolved in such an environment would be fascinating, without a sky to look up to, without a horizon to gaze at. Their minds might be more introspective. Their sense of self might be less individualistic and more collective, like a school of fish or a coral reef. The individual might be seen as just one small part of a larger, interconnected whole, a single cell in the body of the civilization. Fear would be associated, not with darkness, but with cold, with the silence that signals a dying hydrothermal vent, with the barren plains of the abyssal floor, far from the warmth of the planet's heart. Their concept of exploration would be entirely vertical. The ultimate adventure would not be to travel across a continent, but to descend deeper towards the core, or to ascend higher towards the mysterious, impenetrable ice ceiling. The heavens of their world, the ice shell above, would be a place of mystery and awe. What lies beyond it? Is it another ocean, or is it the great cold nothing that their legends speak of? Perhaps brave explorers in specially designed submersibles built to withstand the near zero pressure at the top of their ocean would try to touch the ceiling, to drill into it, to see what lies beyond. These explorers would be their astronauts, their heroes, venturing into the most alien and dangerous realm imaginable, the top of their world. Their discoveries would shape the future of their civilization, confirming their place in a universe far larger, colder, and stranger than they had ever imagined. Let us imagine their first contact, not with us, but with the universe outside. The rogue planet, in its billion-year journey, might not always travel through empty space. It could by chance pass through a stellar nursery, a vast glowing nebula of gas and dust where new stars are being born. For the first time in eons, the planet would be bathed in a faint, external light. The ultraviolet radiation from the young, hot stars would filter through the nebula, and some of it might penetrate the miles of ice that form the planet's crust. For the beings in the ocean below, this would be a momentous event. The ice ceiling, their sky, might begin to glow with a soft, ethereal luminescence, a color it has never had before. It would be a miracle, a sign from the great beyond. Their scientists would be baffled. Their religions would be thrown into chaos or vindicated. What is this strange new energy? What is this light? It would be the first hint that their world is not alone, that there is something else outside, something vast and powerful and completely alien. This event might last for a few million years, a brief moment in the planet's life, but it would be the defining era of their civilization. It would be their age of light, a time of discovery and wonder that would be sung about in their epics for all of eternity, long after their world has passed back into the familiar, comfortable darkness of empty space. The resources in such a closed system would be finite, and everything would need to be recycled. This would foster a deep, instinctual understanding of ecology and sustainability. Waste would be a completely alien concept. Every dead organism, every mineral particle would be a precious resource, immediately broken down and reassimilated into the ecosystem. Their technology would not be one of mass production and consumption, but of precision, efficiency, and harmony with their environment. They might develop biological technology, learning to cultivate and modify the microbes at the base of their food chain to produce specific materials or energy. Their cities could be living structures, grown rather than built, constantly repairing and adapting themselves. The idea of destroying one's environment for short-term gain would be unthinkable, an act of collective suicide. This deep connection to their world, this understanding that the planet is a single, closed-loop system, would be their greatest strength. It would allow their civilization to endure for geological timescales, to survive the slow fading of old events and the birth of new ones, to maintain a stable, thriving society for hundreds of millions, or even billions of years. They would be the ultimate survivors, the quiet, patient gardeners of their own dark, hidden world, masters of the art of living in balance with their finite home. What would their art and music sound like? Without a concept of bird song or the rustling of leaves in the wind, their music would draw from a different palette of sounds. The deep, resonant hum of the planet's core, the hiss and crackle of the hydrothermal vents, the slow, grinding groan of tectonic plates shifting. It would be a music of geology, of deep time, of immense, slow power. Their instruments might be vast structures carved into the rock, designed to be played by the ocean currents themselves, creating ever-changing, ambient symphonies that would fill their cities. Their visual art, the art of bioluminescence, would be a dance of living light. They could tell stories through shifting patterns of color, create emotional landscapes with waves of soft, pulsing light. Imagine entering one of their grand temples, a vast, dark cavern, and witnessing a performance. Not a play with actors, but a live-in mural where thousands of creatures, directed by the civilization, create a moving, glowing epic on the cavern walls, telling the story of their creation, their great migrations, their first encounter with the mysterious light from above. It would be an art form of pure emotion and sensation, designed to be felt as much as it is seen, a direct communication of experience in a world without words as we know them. It would be haunting, beautiful, and utterly alien. Let's reflect on the profound isolation of this potential civilization. They would have no idea if any other life existed in the universe. On Earth, we can look up at the night sky and see billions of other potential homes for life, which fills us with both wonder and a sense of cosmic community. We know we are part of something larger. For the beings of the rogue planet, there would be no such comfort. They would be, as far as they know, the only thinking beings in existence. Their universe is their ocean. This could lead to a philosophy of immense self-importance or one of profound humility. They would be the sole custodians of consciousness. The responsibility to think, to create, to wonder would rest entirely on their shoulders. Every piece of art they create, every scientific discovery they make, would be, in their understanding, the first and only time such a thing has happened in all of creation. There would be a preciousness to their existence that we can only glimpse. They would be a single, lonely candle of thought burning in an infinite, dark room. And yet in that solitude, there is a kind of purity. Their culture would be entirely their own, uninfluenced by any other. It would be a perfect, unique expression of life's ability to adapt and to find meaning, even in the most desolate of circumstances. Imagine the end of such a world. Unlike a planet orbiting a star, which faces a fiery death when its sun expands, a rogue planet faces a much slower, quieter end. Its doom comes from within. Over trillions of years, the radioactive elements in its core will decay. The primordial heat from its formation will finally radiate away. The planet's internal furnace will slowly, imperceptibly, begin to cool. The hydrothermal vents, the sources of all life, would become less powerful and their flow of energy dwindling over countless generations. The civilization, with its mastery of geology, would see this coming. They would know that their world, their God, is slowly dying. It would be a long, slow goodbye, a multi-billion-year twilight. They would have to make a choice. Do they accept their fate, a peaceful, slow extinction as their ocean freezes from the top down? Or would they use their advanced technology to try and survive? Perhaps they could build a final, self-sustaining city around the last, warmest part of the planet's core. Or perhaps, in an ultimate act of hope and desperation, they would try to leave their world, to drill through the miles of ice and venture out into the great, cold nothingness they have only ever theorized about, in search of a new home, a new source of warmth. Their final story would be the greatest race against time in the history of the universe. The concept of a day or a year being absent, the very rhythm of life would be governed by internal, biological clocks and the slow, geological pulse of the planet. Communication across vast distances in their watery world would be a unique challenge. Sound travels faster and further in water than in air, so perhaps their cities would be linked by a network of resonant chambers, allowing for planetary scale singing or communication. Or they might use the planet's own magnetic field, modulating it to send information. The society that develops would be ancient beyond our comprehension, while civilizations on Earth rise and fall in mere thousands of years, buffeted by climate change, asteroids, and the struggles for a place in the sun. This subterranean civilization would be in a perfectly stable, unchanging environment. It could persist for hundreds of millions, or even billions of years. Imagine a culture with a continuous, unbroken history, stretching back 1 billion years. The depth of their knowledge, their art, their philosophy would be staggering. They would be living libraries of ancient wisdom, their society having achieved a state of equilibrium and peace that we can only dream of. They would be the quiet, wise old souls of the galaxy, their existence a secret kept by the vast, silent darkness between the stars. Let's consider the physical form such intelligent life might take. Evolving in a high-pressure, three-dimensional aquatic environment, a humanoid form would be highly unlikely. They might be more like cephalopods, with soft, flexible bodies, tentacles for manipulation, and the ability to change their skin color and texture for communication. Or they could be more crystalline, silicon-based life forms adapted to the high temperatures and mineral-rich water of the vents. Perhaps they would have no fixed physical form at all, existing as colonial organisms, vast, intelligent networks of smaller creatures like a sentient coral reef. Their biology would be perfectly attuned to their environment. They would be able to withstand immense pressures, sense subtle changes in water chemistry, and navigate in total darkness with an effortless grace. They would not see their world as dark or crushing, but as normal, comfortable, and beautiful. To them, our world of bright, harsh light, thin air, and weak gravity would be a terrifying alien hellscape. It is a humbling thought that our definition of a habitable zone is so narrow, so tied to the light of our own star. Life does not need a sun. It only needs a gradient of energy and the patience of deep time. This journey into the heart of a rogue planet is more than just a scientific thought experiment. It is a meditation on resilience. It tells us that even when a world is torn from its home, cast out into the cold and the dark, the spark of life and warmth can be preserved within. It is a metaphor for our own lives. We all face periods of darkness, of feeling lost and alone. But like the rogue planet, we all have an inner core of warmth, a source of strength and energy that is not dependent on external circumstances. This inner heat is our resilience, our creativity, our capacity for hope. The cold, dark void of interstellar space can be seen as the challenges and uncertainties of life. But the planet's thick, insulating crust is our ability to protect that inner core, to shield our spirit from the harshness of the world. The hydrothermal vents, the oases of life, are the moments of connection, of creativity, of love, that burst forth even in the darkest times, providing the nourishment we need to continue our journey. This civilization of the dark reminds us that it is possible to build a beautiful, meaningful existence, to create light in a world that has none, and to find community and purpose even in the most profound isolation. They are the ultimate symbol of hope in the cosmos. The search for these worlds is happening right now. Telescopes like the upcoming Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope are being designed specifically to conduct massive microlensing surveys. They will stare at millions of stars, waiting for those telltale flickers of light that betray the presence of a dark world passing in front. We are on the verge of discovering just how common these orphan planets are. We may soon have a map, not of the stars, but of the darkness between them, populated by these unseen worlds. Each detection will be a dot on that map, a potential location for a hidden ocean, a secret genesis. While we may never be able to visit them, just knowing that they are there changes our perspective on the galaxy. It is not just a collection of bright, happy solar systems, separated by a dead, empty void. It is a far more complex and interesting place. A place filled with wanderers, with hidden potential, with countless worlds following their own solitary destinies. The galaxy is richer, more mysterious, and more full of possibility than we ever imagined. And as you drift deeper into sleep, you can carry with you this comforting thought. We live in a universe that is teeming with secrets, and the darkness is not empty, but full of sleeping giants waiting to be discovered. Let's imagine the soundscape of this hidden world one last time. It is not silent. Close your eyes and listen with your mind. There is the deep, sub-audible hum of the planet's core, a vibration you feel in your bones more than you hear with your ears. It is the baseline of existence, the constant, reassuring presence of the world's heart. Layered on top of that is the hiss and crackle of the hydrothermal vents, like a distant, gentle fire. The sound of energy being released, the sound of life's kitchen. Then there are the sounds of geology, the slow, impossibly deep groan of a tectonic plate shifting miles below, a sound that might last for a century. There is the occasional sharp crack as the ice ceiling above adjusts to some internal pressure, a reminder of the barrier between this world and the void. And finally, woven through all of this, are the sounds of life. The soft clicks, the gentle whistles, the patterned, bioluminescent pulses of the creatures that live here. It is a symphony of the deep, a constant, gentle, complex soundscape. Allow these imagined sounds to wash over you, a cosmic lullaby from a world that has never known a sun. Let the deep hum of the core relax your body. Let the gentle hiss of the vents quiet your mind. And let the slow, patient rhythm of this eternal, living darkness guide you into a deep and peaceful sleep. The sheer number of these potential worlds is staggering to the mind. And in that staggering number, there is a deep sense of peace. Current estimates suggest there could be more than 100,000 rogue planets for every star in the Milky Way. Our galaxy has about 200 billion stars. This means there could be something on the order of 20 trillion of these wandering worlds in our galaxy alone. 20 trillion hidden possibilities. 20 trillion lonely journeys through the dark. If even a tiny fraction of a percent of these worlds have the right conditions, a hot core, a thick crust, a subsurface ocean, then there could be millions or even billions of living worlds, all hidden from our view. The universe is not what it appears to be. The bright shining stars we see are just the most obvious part of the story. The true story of the cosmos might be written in the dark, in these quiet, unassuming worlds that carry their secrets within them. This thought can be incredibly calming. It takes the pressure off. We don't have to be the only ones. The burden of consciousness may be shared by countless other hidden civilizations. We are just one note in a grand, silent, cosmic symphony. As you drift off, let your own consciousness feel like one of those worlds, a self-contained universe, journeying peacefully through the quiet darkness of the night. This idea also redefines our search for extraterrestrial intelligence. For decades, we have been scanning the stars for radio signals, listening for the broadcasts of civilizations living under a sun like ours. But what if the most common form of intelligent life in the universe is silent? What if they are the subterranean ocean dwellers of rogue planets with no technology that broadcasts into space and no desire to? They would be completely invisible to our searches. We could be surrounded by ancient, wise civilizations, and we would never know it. This is not a discouraging thought. It is an exciting one. It means the mystery is deeper than we thought. The puzzle is more complex, It invites us to think more creatively, to imagine life in forms and places we have never considered. It reminds us that the universe does not owe us easy answers. Its secrets are well kept, and that is part of their beauty. The true nature of the cosmos might remain a profound, wonderful mystery, and that is perfectly okay. The journey of wondering, of imagining, is as important as the destination of knowing. And tonight, our journey of imagination has taken us to one of the most incredible, plausible, and peaceful places in the entire universe. A warm, living ocean, drifting silently through an endless, starry night. Let's consider the perspective of one of these beings, floating in their warm, dark ocean. Let's call them a drifter. To a drifter, the concept of solid ground beneath their feet would be strange. Their world is liquid, a medium of support and movement. The idea of a thin, gaseous atmosphere would be terrifying, a place of no pressure, no substance. The idea of a single, blindingly hot source of energy in the sky would be a vision of hell. Their entire existence is defined by the gentle, constant embrace of their world. Their world is not just their home, it is their God, their parent, their partner. It provides everything: warmth, food, shelter, and purpose. There's a deep, symbiotic relationship between the drifters and their planet. They are not conquerors of their world. They are a part of its very geology, another expression of its internal energy. This perspective offers a profound lesson for us. It is a call to see our own planet, Earth, in the same way, not as a resource to be exploited, but as a single, living, interconnected system of which we are a part. The drifters, in their eternal darkness, might have a deeper understanding of what it means to live in harmony with one's world than we, with all our light and all our science, have yet to achieve. They are a silent, hypothetical reminder of a wiser way to live. The cold of interstellar space, which we see as a deadly threat, is the ultimate guarantor of this world's stability. It is the perfect insulator. This is a beautiful paradox. The thing that seems most hostile is actually the source of protection. It locks in the planet's warmth, creating a stable environment for billions of years. On Earth, life has been punctuated by mass extinctions caused by external events like asteroid impacts. A rogue planet is largely immune to this. It is a tiny target in a vast space, unlikely to be hit. It is shielded from the deadly radiation of supernovae by sheer distance. Its hidden ocean is the safest, most stable incubator for life in the entire universe. While life on Earth has had to be tough and adaptable to constant change, life on a rogue planet could be incredibly ancient and delicate, perfectly adapted to a world that has not changed in a billion years. It would be like a living fossil, a glimpse into a form of life that is slow, patient, and deeply rooted in its unchanging environment. This perfect stability is the dream of every living thing, and it is a dream that might be realized over and over again in the silent, cold, protective darkness between the stars. Let us zoom out. On our final moments of this journey, we pull back from the warm, hidden ocean, back through the miles of ice. The planet once again becomes a perfect black circle against the faint river of the Milky Way. We see it now, not as a cold, dead rock, but as a living ark, a secret garden, a single, precious thought in a vast, silent mind. We pull back further, and the planet shrinks, becoming just another point of darkness, its gravitational signature the only evidence of its passing. We continue to drift, and we realize the space around us is not empty. It is filled with these potential worlds, these silent wanderers, trillions of them, each one a mystery, each one a possibility, each one a lullaby of deep time and cosmic solitude. The galaxy feels different now. It is no longer just a collection of lights. It is a sea of stories, and most of them are being told in the dark. This knowledge is a comforting blanket for the mind. It makes the universe feel more complete, more whole. It fills the empty spaces with wonder. And as you finally let go, as you drift into the deepest levels of your sleep, you can feel yourself becoming one of them. A peaceful traveler on a silent journey through a beautiful, mysterious, and living night. The very air you breathe is made of elements forged in the heart of a star that died long ago. You are, in a very real sense, a child of the cosmos. The atoms that make up your body have been on a journey for billions of years. And in this context, the idea of a rogue planet feels less alien and more like a distant cousin. It too is a child of a star, a sibling of our own Earth, just one that followed a different path. Its journey through the darkness is not so different from our own journey through time. We too travel through the unknown, carrying within us a spark of warmth and consciousness. The civilization we imagined in its depths is a mirror, reflecting our own hopes, our own fears, our own search for meaning in a vast and often indifferent universe. They are the ultimate other, and yet in their struggle for survival, in their creation of art and science, in their wonder about the cosmos, they would be just like us. This connection, this shared identity as children of the stars, is a powerful, unifying, and deeply calming idea. It dissolves the feeling of loneliness. We are all part of the same grand, cosmic story, a story that is still unfolding, with its most beautiful chapters perhaps hidden in the quiet, dark, and peaceful corners of the galaxy. Let this feeling of connection be the final thought that carries you into a restful and restorative sleep. You're not alone. You are part of everything. As our meditative journey concludes, let's settle on the image of the ocean one last time. This is not just an ocean of water. It is an ocean of time. Life here has had billions of years to evolve, undisturbed. What wonders could such a long, unbroken chain of evolution produce? Imagine beings that have mastered their own biology, able to live for millennia, passing down knowledge not through writing, but through direct genetic memory. Imagine a society that has solved the problem of conflict and scarcity, and now exists in a state of pure contemplation, its primary goal being to simply understand and experience the nature of existence. They would be philosopher kings, living in a quiet, dark, warm paradise of their own making. Their existence would be a slow, gentle, and beautiful thing. This is the ultimate potential of the rogue planet. Not just as a cradle of life, but as a sanctuary for wisdom, a place where consciousness can reach its full potential, protected from the violent chaos of the brighter parts of the universe. It is a deeply optimistic vision. It suggests that the universe is not just capable of creating life, but also of protecting it, of nurturing it, of allowing it to blossom into something truly extraordinary. And that beautiful, hopeful thought is a wonderful place to rest your mind as you drift away. The universe is not just strange, it is good. And it is filled with a quiet, hidden, and enduring beauty. Sleep well. And so, our voyage through the starless night comes to a gentle close. We have journeyed from the familiar light of our own sun into the profound, peaceful darkness of interstellar space. We found a world without a star, a ghost planet, and we ventured deep inside it. There, we discovered the most incredible possibility, a warm, subterranean ocean, alive with energy from the planet's own core. We imagined an entire ecosystem, a civilization of intelligent beings who have never seen the light, who build a rich and ancient culture in the heart of the eternal night. We saw that the universe's capacity for creating life is not limited to the sunlit surfaces of worlds like our own. Life is resilient. Consciousness is tenacious, and beauty can flourish in the most unexpected and unlikely of places. The darkness is not empty. It is simply quiet. It is filled with potential, with mystery, and with the silent, sleeping promise of discovery. The universe is a far more wondrous place than we can see with our eyes alone. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this voyage helped you relax, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more lectures for sleep. And as a final thought to carry you into your dreams, let me ask you, if we could send a single one-word message to a civilization living in such a hidden ocean, what word would you choose to send? Let me know in the comments below. For now, rest easy. The night is not an absence of light, but a presence of peace. Sleep well.